Dante Ramos with Shadow and Act. So, Brooklyn, baby. Brooklyn Nights, born and raised. Okay, I love that. What is one thing you love about being a New Yorker or that you love about New York?
Oh, I love everything.
I mean,
especially in the summertime.
I think Brooklyn in the summer is the best summer that you can have. I think it's the swag and confidence. I love New York swag. So in Soldier, Beyonce says she says I need a guy up top from the BK.
And you give me Brooklyn vibes through and through. I feel like through your characters, I feel it. Obviously with you, I can tell too, all the way, especially when it was in the Heights. But one thing that I have to ask you guys both is, so what I love the most is that the unit that you guys have on camera, especially the fact that, one is being anthropologists, one is trying to find their way, but still come to find this, we're family, we're working with each other. What went into you guys both building into that bond to make it strong on camera?
We've known each other for a while.
We kind of had a bond before that, and we really wanted to do something together. Even if we had to write it, we would sit in a cafe and be like, all right, we gotta do something epic, gotta be something.
Dom was gonna write it. I wasn't gonna write it. Dom was gonna write it. She's an amazing writer.
Okay.
Thank you. Well, we was like, it gotta be so Brooklyn, it gotta be real epic. And then we both kind of got busy and it didn't happen. And then lo and behold, the universe guy had always had Transformers in the work for us.
Yes. And then, of course, for you, being the first Black woman of this franchise, congratulations. And I know you've spoken previous about being very specific on characters that you choose because of age. So what did you want to bring out on camera to really show Elena's characteristics? Because I really love that. Smart, beautiful, strong personality. So what was really important about bringing that to camera for Elena?
I think what was really important was not changing the accent and not softening up on the accent. I think that you can have an idea about what it means to be intelligent or a scientist. And I think we could lean into, especially coming from theater, enunciation, dialect work, you can actually do that. So I could have very well made Elena speak a little bit more, I don't know,
proper,
standard American English or whatever. But I didn't have to and I didn't want to because intelligence comes from all different places and all different voices, all different, slang as well, you know what I mean? So I'm so glad that it's felt in the movie.
Yeah, and Anthony, for you, what I loved about you and Pete Davidson, I never knew I needed this Autobot and human duo, my favorite thus far. Yes. But what I love the most is that even though he was just a voice, there was a connection there. I felt the heart, I saw the action. How did that work? Because he wasn't there, right, on set with you?
No, you know what, I'll be honest, I gotta give it all to Pete.
Really?
I'm gonna give all the props to Pete.
Awesome. I cannot. Bro.
That was major fault. But Pete killed it. I was about to say Pete smashed it.
Pete, there was a perfect.
Pete take it on home. Go ahead.
He did his thing, man. He really got in there.
She's the villain right now.
Pete Davidson is an incredible actor. Incredible.
I was shocked. I loved it. And my last question for you guys is, if you had to do life with any Autobot or Beast, who are you doing it with?
Nah, I'm joking. I'm so sorry.
She needs a timeout.
I really do. Early morning, and I am delirious.
I'm choosing Mirage. Or Bumblebee. I love Bumblebee.
That's why I gotta pick the B.
Yeah. Anthony, what you going for?
I think, Cheetor.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, guys. Congratulations. You guys are amazing. I love both of your work. Why was Pete Davidson a Porsche?
Oh man, that's a great question. I would have to say it went Porsche first, then Pete Davidson.
Okay.
I have to go that route. I wanted somebody who was flashy a bit, but yet still in control. Now I feel like I'm describing the car.
No, please. I needed to know. I was like, out of all cars, why Porsche?
No, and I didn't know much about Porsche until this project and doing my research. Originally, it was a different car. It was a Lamborghini at first, I'll tell you that. But we switched it up. It was hard. The Lambo didn't make for the better robot in terms of the G1 sort of aesthetic that we're looking for. And then I met with Porsche, and they're like, you got to test drive our cars, feel it out, and get a vibe. And I was like, oh, this is crazy.
I can't even believe that's a part of the development.
And it was also one nugget. It's also homage to Michael Bay and Bad Boys. That was
Fave director?
He's not my favorite director, But he definitely inspired, you know, in terms of where I am today, because Bad Boys was like a huge inspiration to me. Like I ran out with a video camera and, you know, reenacted Bad Boys so many times. I saw people that,
I love that.
I was inspired. I saw people that looked like me on the big screen, and I was like, oh, this is crazy. I didn't know Martin Lawrence and, you know, Will Smith could pull off a big, huge action movie, and so I was like, man, so this was also a nugget for that too.
Yeah, and then what I love the most is that we have Anthony Ramos and Dominique Fishback, like two color representation, whether it's Black, Hispanic. And what I love about their unit is very team-like, but they're the Brooklyn Knights. They're the Brooklyn team, you know what I mean? So what made you want to have the basis in Brooklyn and then going to Peru and the little tidbits of like, I'm never leaving Brooklyn. I love that. 'Cause a lot of New Yorkers don't leave New York. So what was that like? Why them?
That was all Dom. I'll never leave Brooklyn again. She definitely made sure that I was alive, and like we felt that sort of Brooklyn-esque attitude throughout, and that love for it. I think we always saw the films take place on the West Coast. Like it was like California, Nevada, those kind of places in the desert, and it felt like, all right, how can we make this tough? How can we add a level of grit to it? And New York was that city, especially during the 90s in that era. So for us, everything from the designs of the robots, bringing them into that era, and then knowing how hard it was for them to transform. They can't just transform anywhere because it's one of the busiest cities ever. So we had to really pinpoint special locations that are like, okay, in these locations, we can have our Autobots now be themselves. So it felt congested for the robots, enough for them to want to go home and not stay on this planet. That was crazy. But for the humans, it's their home. This is what they love. This is what they want to protect. So it created friction too between the Autobots and the humans, which I like because that never was in any of the films.
That was the first time.
Yeah, and they question everything. You know, it's like, you know, New Yorkers. You know, it's like we ain't just gonna say yes. We're gonna ask our questions.
Like, you're gonna make me jump, I'm gonna go. My last question for you is: any Autobot you could do life with, who are you choosing?
If I can do what with?
Life with, any Autobot.
Life with? Oh, I'll probably have to go with Optimus Prime on that one.
Okay.
Mirage is my favorite right now, but if I could have Prime have my back and move through this thing called life, yeah, that would be great.
Bumblebee till I die.
Bumblebee, there you go.
There you go. Thank you so much. Why was Peru the chosen exploration place?
Well, we like to take our audience on extraordinary sort of adventures that they may not be able to go on. Honestly, Machu Picchu is someplace I really wanted to go to my whole life. And so we found a story that took us to Machu Picchu. It also has jungle, and jungle was so important because we were wanting to bring in the Maximals, but they can't really run around a city.
Right.
So we needed to find a story that had that. So and then another culture of the city there, Cusco, which brings in a lot of this movie is about cultures and how do they intersect with one another.
Yes. So also, and I was gonna say that I love that the Autobots and that the Beasts, the Maximals are all together, and I think that fans, diehard fans, are gonna eat this up. But what do you think is, or you're hoping is gonna be the best thing that fans are gonna enjoy the most?
Well, I think there's so much to like in this movie for them. I mean, fans have really been looking for the Maximals to come in, and so we've brought the Maximals in. But I think there's a lot of characterization that goes on in this movie that will connect. I hope they find themselves more connected to the humans and the robots than they have before.
Oh, I have, because I never knew I needed Pete Davidson and Anthony Ramos as our human Autobot duo. I was obsessed. Yeah. Now, what goes into that? Because why was he a Porsche? Out of all cars that could have been, why was the Porsche?
Well, we've tried a lot of different cars.
Yeah.
1994 was also the year Bad Boys, and they had the black Porsche. So in a way, it's a little tip of the hat to Bad Boys. And a lot of us growing up, it was sort of our dream car. It was like, oh boy, I'd like to have one of those. I certainly was one of those. Actually, I had two cars I wanted. I wanted a Camaro and a Porsche, and I got both.
Wow.
So I'm doing okay.
Kudos to you.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. But it really, it's just a cool car. And the character always had a kind of a swagger.
Yeah.
And that feels right for that car.
I like that. I like that. And then my last question for you is the suit. It was like Iron Man, Transformers. I loved it, but I was also like, it symbolized for me kind of like the final straw, or like a sense of strength. Like, we're gonna come together and just go and kick ass. So what can we talk about the suit? Like, what was that for? How did that creation come up into the story?
Well, one of the hardest things to do in these movies is how does a 5 or 6 foot creature have anything meaningful to do in a fight with 35-foot creatures, right? And so it came out of that thinking. It was like, how do you make the human as important as possible? That's where that came out of. It is a need to give them an important pedestal to stand on, you know. But I'm really glad you got that, because that was the idea of it. Also, the story is about trying to unite Anthony Ramos with robots, right? And that's his struggle with Optimus. Yeah. And so it is symbolic that way, for sure.
Oh, I got it. I was so happy to see Bumblebee. Great job. I ate it up. Thank you so much.
Great. Glad you liked it so much.
You. What went into developing yourself into acting roles? Because I'm so used to you rapping and creating music.
Yeah. For this one specifically, Caple Jr. Really helped me get into character. I know I had to study a lot of movies that I had seen in the past, like Paid in Full and things along. Yeah, I had to really tap into my New York movie collection to get active in the role. But he really helped me like lock in and not do too much. You know, a lot of times people here in New York and get overzealous.
Yeah.
Get overzealous.
And you kept it. It was clean.
Come on.
I
try to stay in the pocket.
Another thing with Reek is he's a mess, okay?
Yeah, come on.
Like, you really left Noah in the dust. So I have to ask you, have you ever been in a situation like that where maybe you were influenced by somebody and like kind of left you in the dust, or vice versa? It's story time now.
Now, I guarantee you I've been in a position where somebody has left me in the dust. I don't really operate like that. Okay. I'm one of those like, we ride together, we die together type of people. But everybody in the world ain't necessarily built like that, and I've had to learn that just through life experiences and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that ain't necessarily a part of me that I had to act out in character. But a lot of other stuff about Reek, I truly stand 10 toes down on. Like, he really loves his friends and wants the best for them, wants them to utilize their talents and skills to put them in the best type of situation that they can be in to provide for themselves. I really believe that. I really move in that like that on a day-to-day basis. But all the rest of the stuff, it's like, not so much.
Yeah, I can see that. It was totally about team. Speaking of teammates and people that you wanted better, you and Noah were another duo that I really enjoyed on screen. Yeah. Did you learn anything from your castmates?
100%.
What did you take away the most?
So Anthony is a phenomenal like physical actor. So is Dominique Fishback, but like he had a lot of acting and stuff that he was doing that I was witnessing that didn't necessarily require lines. But it was like a lot of
body movements,
yeah.
I love Anthony Ramos.
100%. Like, but he's very, very talented. But off screen, he's a very, very like well-meaning, good person. Wants the best for everybody around him. No ego. When we first met each other, like he came, saw my family in our trailer and stuff like that, in our supporting cast trailer, and so we didn't have a lot of room like that, and was like, hey, y'all can have my trailer.
Wow.
Yeah, come in, sit around, kids can run around, grab whatever snacks that they want, it don't matter. And I was like, oh yeah. Because we both come from nothing, it's like, yeah, he got a different level of appreciation for things at this level and for people.
Wow, that warms my heart.
Come on.
Wow. My last question for you is, if you could have any Autobot or Beast to rock out every day with, who are you choosing?
I'm not gonna lie. Now, Mirage would be, he's just fun.
He's a new Porsche. I'm loving him.
Come
He's
on.
my new fave.
100%. Like, yeah, so out of all of them, he got the most entertaining personality. I love the leadership qualities that Optimus Primal had.
Always.
Yeah, as a Maximal, like even in it, I don't want to spoil no film, but you understand. But I just love his leadership qualities, so I'd rock out with him for a little bit. But definitely between Primal and Mirage.
Well, great job. Congratulations to you. You killed it.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for your time.